Hello everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube video. We have a pretty good pack to start here, and it's a pretty easy first pick. No power, but Mana Drain is excellent. I would probably take Counterspell in this pack, and Mana Drain is just way better, so that is pretty sweet. Other decent cards, Portend, Karn, really just those two actually. I guess Creeping Tar Pit, but this is a pretty weak pack. Very happy to get a Mana Drain out of it though. Not the best pack to follow it up. The blue cards are both pretty bad. Show and Tell is mostly unplayable. There's some decks where I'll play this, and I do think it's a decent sideboard card in a lot of matchups. But a lot of players have really good stuff to use with Show and Tell. And then Phantasmal Image is fine, but it's not really a card you want to be second picking. We could take one of these artifacts. Mana Drain is amazing in a mono blue artifact deck because, I mean, it just makes a lot of colorless mana and is good interaction. We could take Ballista or Sundering Titan. Yeah. Okay, if we're going to take one of these two, which would we rather? Sundering Titan is a lot better with Tinker. Walking Ballista is better. I mean, it's more flexible. It's worse if you have exactly 8 mana, but you can play for cheap. I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Ballista here. Yeah, let's go with that. This is good in the matchups that can be a little bit rough for base blue decks. Okay, now we have some interesting ones. There's some good artifact cards. Memory Jar, Wormcoil Engine, Tezzeret. I'm still not going to take something like a Wormcoil or a Tezzeret here, though, I think, because while Mana Drain is good in these artifact decks, it's not like we have Tolarian Academy. We're not really committed to the artifact theme. We just have a card that makes colorless mana. So we'll take Factor Fiction. It goes really well with Mana Drain. If you play Mana Drain, then you can use Factor Fiction for like 1 blue mana, essentially, and still hold up other mana for other counterspells or things like that. Yeah, Factor Fiction is pretty good here. Okay, I think we just stay blue and take Shark Typhoon, another card that is good with colorless mana and just also good on its own. Other than this, I mean, the best card in this pack is probably Lilion of the Veil. I also do like Zealous Conscripts quite a bit. A lot of red cards. There's 5 red cards in this pack, but I still think I like taking the Shark. Okay, now we're going to need to switch up, take a non-blue card. Well, there's Yorion, but Yorion is not very good. This pack is pretty bad. That is a late Raphellos, but I don't really want to be doing Raphellos in this sort of deck. If we want to do blue-white, we could take Cave of the Frost Dragon. I guess this is a late Reanimate. It doesn't really go well with any of the stuff we have right now, but I think I still like taking the Reanimate here. What else would we take? I think I guess like Yorion or Cave of the Frost Dragon. Those both seem pretty bad. So yeah, I'll take Reanimate. We'll see if that looks really open. Okay, now we have Archon of Cruelty, but I'm going to take Chart Course. It's good in Reanimator. And I mean, yeah, Archon of Cruelty is one of the better reanimation targets, but I still think I'd rather take the Chart Course, which is good in Reanimator and also good if we just end up in a blue value deck. Okay. Here we could take, there's some good cards here. Duretti is the best card, but that's like not really, we don't have any fixing. That just seems like it's too far away from what we're doing. There's Glorybringer. There's Koldath the Forge Master. We don't have artifacts yet, but I do think that's the direction I would like to go with this shell. If you have a lot of blue, then like this sort of start makes me want to play basically blue-eye control or artifacts. We could just take Duretti and try and go Grixis. Koldath the Forge Master is not that good. Yeah, no, I'm going to take Glorybringer, I think. Yeah, we'll take Glorybringer. Glorybringer is really good. If we do end up in Grixis, then I'll sort of wish we had taken Duretti, but blue-red is a totally fine deck, and we have a decent start. Like, Glorybringer really helps to plug a lot of the holes that you have in these base blue decks. Now we have what? Could take a Stomping Ground. Could take Woodfall Primus or Sphinx. Like, the Sphinx is good in both Reanimator or it's okay in both Reanimator and Tinker. There's also Makeshift Mannequin if we want to do reanimation stuff, but I kind of wanted to take Stomping Ground. Yeah, let's do that. Reanimator is somewhat open, but Makeshift Mannequin is not really a reanimation card I like very much. Okay. Not too much force here either. And reanimate, there's no reanimation card, so I think we're probably just cutting this reanimate. What do we want? I guess just deserted beach. Yeah, let's take the deserted beach. This is sort of all over the place. We got off to a really good start, but then blue got cut, and we haven't been able to find a clear direction to supplement our good blue cards. But we could definitely just go into blue-white. White looks fairly open, and we got a late piece of fixing, which is a good sign. Stomping Ground could become... I mean, we'll see. There's definitely a world where, like, if we get a couple good late red cards here, like if we get a late lightning strike or something like that, we could just go blue-red. Okay, Sunring Titan Wheels, but there's a lot of white cards. Yeah, let's just take Condemn. Yeah, all right, I think we're doing blue-white control. White looks very open. We have a good base of some blue cards to start the deck, and then we can just spend our early picks on blue cards, our late picks on white cards. The classic blue-white control formula. Nice. Yeah, that's perfect. We'll take the wall. You can see blue artifacts is somewhat open, but you really need to have at least 2 pieces of cheap artifact mana at the end of the first pack to make this sort of deck work. And this looks like a really good start for blue-white control. It's not broken, but we have some solid card advantage. We have a really good counterspell. We have a bit of mana fixing, some removal. Now we get a Thraben Inspector. That's perfect. We could also be blue-white control with a slight artifact sub-theme. We don't need to build all in on it, but we get Thraben Inspector, which makes an artifact. We have Walking Ballista. Maybe we could play Urza and get some nice value out of that. Selfless Spirit versus Overgrown Farmland. Selfless Spirit is just pretty bad. It is a flyer. Like, it can be an okay sideboard card, but I think I'd rather take the Overgrown Farmland just in case we get something like Oko. These are nice white cards to have to supplement our blue cards because they all help a lot against aggressive decks, which is certainly the toughest matchup for decks that are playing these blue cards. So what are we looking for in pack 2? You're always looking for more counter magic. So Remand, Mana Leak, Spell Pierce, whatever it is of that. Any of the blue-white gold cards other than Yorion are good. Actually, Yorion and Geist are both sort of bad. There's better blue-white cards. I don't know why Yorion and Geist are the 2 they go with. I mean, I guess I understand somewhat. Geist has good uses, and Yorion is like sort of sweet occasionally, but there's such a big drop-off from, like, Fractured Identity and both Teferis are amazing, and the other blue-white cards are cards that I rarely main deck. Ooh, some really good ones here. I would take Shelduck Isle over Force of Negation, but do we want Mana Crypt over either of them? The problem with Mana Crypt is this is looking like it's going to be a pretty slow deck. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to take Shelduck Isle. Mana Crypt is broken. I would take Soul Ring here over Shelduck for sure. But the downside of this card is pretty relevant in a deck like this. If we were doing the blue artifacts thing and we had taken Tezzeret and stuff like that, I would definitely take Mana Crypt, and that would be one of the best cards we could possibly get. But for this deck that's a little bit more reactive, I think a nice value land like Shelduck Isle is more where we want to be. I don't think Force of Negation will wheel, but that's okay. Yeah, let's take this. Okay, some interesting options here. I love Elspeth. There's also Flooded Strand, and I kind of think we should just take the Strand here. Yeah, this card is really good. It also will help us if we want to splash something. It can't fetch Stomping Ground, but if we get like a Breeding Pool, then that can help us to enable an Uro Splash or an Oko Splash. And we just really want the Elspeth Suns Champion to come around. It's not super likely to. White is open, but like the cards we were getting super late are like Seasoned Hellblade, Thraben Inspector, like the sort of more aggressive white cards. Although I guess we also wield Wall of Omens. We'll see. There's a chance Elspeth comes around. I'll be happy if it does, but either way, I think it's correct to take the Flooded Strand here. There's Geist. I would much prefer this to be either Teferi, Vendilion Click, or Wrath of God. Vendilion Click, Wrath of God is more important for the deck. I would rather, if I'm only going to get one card from this pack, I would take the Wrath of God. There's a chance Wrath of God wheels, and there's no chance Vendilion Click wheels, but I think that it's so important to take the Wrath of God that we just need to do it. Yeah, this card is really, really important for this archetype. Having at least one of this effect. Also, if we already had Day of Judgment, then I would certainly take the click, but I think we want the Wrath here. It's really important to have at least one card that kills all creatures against mono green, mono red, mono white, and that's a lot of the decks in the format. Okay, this pack isn't exactly what we wanted. Mirror Battlesphere is a fine win condition, and it is very good with mana drain. So I think that is the pick, but I would much prefer to get like a counterspell or a cantrip or something like that. Okay, here we have Treasure Cruise, Palace Jailer, and Orzhov Signet. Palace Jailer is the best card. Yeah, we'll take the Jailer. I used to think you could only play this card in a deck that's attacking on the ground, or that's attacking a lot, but it's pretty decent in a defensive deck as well. We may cut it in matchups that are playing like a bunch of cheap flyers, but this card is really, really strong. And we do have ways to protect the Monarchy. I mean, we have Condemn, which is very good. We have multiple cheap creatures that can block well. Orzhov Signet would have been the second pick there, but I think I like taking the Palace Jailer. Now we could take Wasteland, Suspicious Stowaway, Golos, or Dig Through Time. I think I'm going to narrow it down to the Stowaway versus Dig Through Time. The Stowaway is really good at gaining the Monarchy. But I think I'm still taking the Dig Through Time. It's very likely that Treasure Cruise will get taken, and so I'd like to have at least one way to utilize the graveyard. And Dig Through Time is very, very good card selection. Yeah, let's take that. Okay, now we have Torrential Gearhulk. Not a bad one. It's very good with Dig Through Time and very good with Fact or Fiction, and also pretty good with Mana Drain. Yeah, that seems pretty sweet, actually. I don't love this card in general, but I think this is a good deck for it. There's also Everflowing Chalice, but I think I'd rather take the Gearhulk here. So, especially now that we have Gearhulk and Palace Jailer, Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exile are even higher picks than they would be normally. So hopefully we can get at least one of those two spells. Okay, neither of those spells, but some good ones. Do we want Elspeth Conquers Death or Gideon Ally of Zendikar? That is very close because they're both amazing cards. We do have a couple 4s and no 5s at the moment. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Elspeth Conquers Death. I definitely would not fault someone for taking the Gideon here. But we have no clean answers to Planeswalkers yet, and that is a really important thing to have access to. It's too bad that these are in the same pack, though. There's like I would take either one of these over Gearhulk or Mirror Battlesphere or any of the last couple cards we took. Now we could take Stoneforge Mystic, Hangerback Walker, or Faith's Fetters. I don't think I want the Mystic. We don't have Batterskull. Yeah, let's just take the Faith's Fetters. Gives us another good answer to Planeswalkers. Nice, Elspeth Wield. We'll take that. And now we have plenty of top end, so we're going to really prioritize getting some cheap cards. We also have a lot of 4s and no 3s, which makes Signets much better. So, I mean, they're already pretty good, but now Signets are an even higher pick than they would have been normally. Also, we're still a little light on counter magic. We have not gotten any since our first pick. Okay, I'll take a Geist. And this card is decent. It may or may not make the main deck, but it'll be a very, very good sideboard card at the very least. It's also just a good sign to get this so late. That's a good sign that we can get... I mean, I don't think every single person in the draft would pass a Fractured Identity. But the Geist going so late does increase the chances that we could get like a 5th pick Fractured Identity or something like that, which would be amazing. Now I'll take Karmic Guide, which is probably not going to make the cut, but there are worlds where... I mean, I guess Yorion's already gone, which makes Karmic Guide a lot worse, but we could theoretically get some stuff that would make us want it. Okay, we'll take Emrakul now for matchups where we need more top end. Cathar Commander is actually really good. I'll definitely play that in this deck. And Lead Spellbinder. Okay, so Some good value white creatures. We may end up pivoting towards a little bit more of a creature-heavy build, and that could be pretty sweet here. Ooh, really good pack. I think we got to just take the Tundra. I would love Recruiter of the Guard, Glen Elendra, or Solitude, especially these Solitude and Glen. I think there's a good chance that either Recruiter or Solitude does come around, though, and I just want to solidify the mana. Tundra's really, really good. We don't have a blue-white fetchable land yet. Granted, our only fetch land already does get blue and white, so it doesn't turn like turn our polluted delta into a white source or anything, but we could get a future polluted delta, which it would turn into a white source. And still, we really want to be able to play Mana Drain, and we also want to be able to play all these white cards. I think we're just taking Scalding Tarn here. Ponder and Snapcaster Mage are both good. Coalition Relic is also solid, but solidifying your mana is never a bad thing, and we have a lot of spells already. Ooh. This is an interesting Grim Monolith deck. We have Battlesphere, Gearhulk, Elspeth. Yeah, that seems pretty good. There's also Disenchant, which would be playable in this deck, but I guess we already have Cathar Commando for that. Now we have Soulfire Grandmaster, Elspeth, and Dismember. I think we should take Dismember here, actually. Yeah, we're a little light on creature removal, especially cheap creature removal. And then we'll take this and hope the Elspeth comes around. Gearhulk is beginning to look a little sketchier. It still has Dig Through Time and Factor Fiction, which are both amazing, and has Mana Drain, but the only thing we've added in a long time is this Dismember. So we'll see. If we get like Cryptic Command, or maybe one or two more counterspells, or certainly if we got Mystic Confluence, then I would play the Torrential Gearhulk, but that is potentially on the chopping block right now. And in terms of win conditions, this deck is looking pretty good. Actually, yeah, we have tons and tons of win conditions. Sometimes your blue-white decks do have a little bit of a hard time winning the game before they mill themselves, especially if their top end consists of, like, you know, Consecrated Sphinx and Teferi and Factor Fiction. Ooh, late Counterspell. Love to see that. Windswept Heath would be good, and Restoration Angel is actually looking pretty good here too, but Counterspell is ridiculously strong. Not as good as Mana Drain, but still an easy pickup here. Ooh. Skyclave Apparition is great, but I think we're taking Karakas. We don't have that many combos with it, just Geist of St. Traft right now, but it's just so good. If Skyclave Apparition somehow wheels, I'll be thrilled. I'm not counting on it, but this card can just win games on its own. Okay, this is our first pack in a while that's sort of a brick. We can take Adeline, which is a good sideboard. Well, it could even be a main deck card, but yeah, nothing else here is good for us at all. And if we do want to be attacking, then Adeline is pretty good. It's much better if you have a creature in play when you play it. So you can attack. This doesn't need to attack to trigger to get the 1/1. So if you attack with I guess my face is in the way here, but if you go like turn 2, Cathar Commando, turn 3, Adeline and attack, you get a 1/1 immediately. And then, of course, it just snowballs. It becomes even bigger later. Ooh. All right, we'll take a Path. Spellseeker would be decent, and Containment Priest would be a good sideboard card, but I think Path is too important. Yeah, let's take that. Nice, Solitude Wheel. That's really, really good, actually. We will very happily take a Solitude. Now, Banishing Light. Baneslayer is a decent option for the board, but Banishing Light's a better main deck card. Okay, so what cuts are we making here? I think we can cut Dismember now that we have Path and Condemn, and I think we can cut Torrential Gearhulk probably. And then run it like this. Seems pretty good. Okay, Intrepid Adversary versus Disenchant. I think I'm going to take Disenchant. Normally I main deck Disenchant, but we already have Cathar Commando. So I think I'm not going to main deck it here. Ooh, Elspeth. That's a good late pickup. We need to make one more cut now. I think I like this top end. I guess we'll cut the Geist. Although, actually, Geist is so good with Elspeth. You play this on turn 3, then turn 4, you make it into a 5/5 flyer and swing for 9 in the air. Resto, sweet. Well, is Resto good? It's good with Thraben Inspector. It's good with Solitude. Oh, wow, okay. Well, it's looking like we're going to be a more creature-heavy deck than I was initially thinking. I think we'll cut Faith's Fetters and bring it in matchups where life gain is relevant or where they have a lot of Planeswalkers. Grim Monolith, I think, is worth it. We could cut the Mirror Battlesphere, but I like having a little bit of top end like that, and it's really good with Restoration Angel. Maybe we cut Shark Typhoon. This card is really good, but it is a little bit inefficient. It's very, very good against control, but against decks where they're, like, against aggressive decks, it's pretty slow. Then we need one more cut. I guess just Dig Through Time. And then at that point, we're playing very few blue cards. We're just basically splashing blue for a couple counterspells and Chart Course. Let's see how the mana looks here. If we did this, we're obviously much, much heavier white. Yeah. It's a little unfortunate that 2 of our 5 blue cards are double blue. Although we do also have Shelldock, which is a card that you can honestly splash for Shelldock, funnily enough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue. That's pretty solid. And then 4 non-blue, so 13 white. Yeah, we can add one more island. All right, this seems pretty sweet. We have a decent, like, semi-aggressive, semi-controlling game plan in game 1. And then if we can we can go a little bit bigger against control by bringing in, like, Emrakul, Dig Through Time, Gearhulk, Shark Typhoon. And, yeah, I mean, this seems pretty sweet. Do we want to play Adeline? No, I think I'm still just going to run like this. The thing is, we don't have that many cheap creatures that are aggressive. So we can't really do that good of a job of being a hyper-aggressive deck. But I think that's fine. We don't need to be because we have good mid-range elements, and then having access to a couple counterspells can really help to just mess up many decks in the format. Best draw here is Tundra, Thraben Inspector on 1. Turn 2, Mana Drain your 3-drop. Turn 3, Hardcast Elspeth Sun's Champion. All right, yeah, this seems pretty sweet. I'll see you in round 1. All right, we have our round 1 opponent. Can we win the die roll with this weird white-blue mid-range deck? Nice. Okay. No castable spells at the moment, but I will keep this. We have, yeah, this hand has a decent chance of playing turn 3 Elspeth, which will win most matchups. Let's go turn 1 Island, pass turn. We have pretty good mana fixing in this deck, but we do need to draw both a second blue and a second white source. Tundra would be our best draw by a lot. Deserted Beach is equivalent to Tundra, essentially. We can play Grim Monolith, and now we're set up. I guess if we had Tundra, we could hold up Mana Drain, but I'm not even sure we would want to. I think even if we had double blue here, we would play the Grim Monolith because Mana Draining their 2-drop would not give us Elspeth, whereas Grim Monolith does. Okay. Well, that's a lot less explosive than our Mana Acceleration. Pretty solid curve here. Just land, Monolith, Elspeth. They could have Fractured Identity. Playing against a fan, that's always fun to see. Jaluan, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce your name, but I hope you have a good game and a good league, but I do hope you lose this one. All right, seeing Ponder makes me a little bit more scared of their deck. For a while, I thought they were just black-white mid-range, with blue-white mid-range crushes, but now that I know they're playing Esper, that opens up a lot of pretty scary things. The best thing they could do here would just be any way to kill Elspeth. So they could go like land Oblivion Ring, Black Lotus Fractured Identity, something like that. They chose to not shuffle, so they probably do have an answer in there somewhere. 3 mana, Vindicate. Metalworker. Okay. I think we could path this. Actually, that's probably worth it. I don't love giving them a land here, and it means we can't hold up Grim Monolith or untap Resto, but it means we can attack for 3, and we give them 1 mana, but we cut them off of potentially way more than 1 mana. And this also messes up their Ponder, potentially. We don't know. It's possible they only really wanted 1 card, but they were expecting to draw at least 1 more card off that Ponder that they no longer are. So they're dead in 2 turns to this Elspeth. We're going to save this mana drain and use it very judiciously. That is something we will use it on, though. Jeez, yeah. Really, really good. We have an answer for this. And there's the game. Okay. Yeah, we had a pretty broken draw there. Turn 3 Elspeth, turn 4, kill your dude plus counter your 5-drop. Not bad. So we're playing against Esper. They do have Fractured Identity. We don't have Innate Teferis or Fractured Identity, which is a little unfortunate. Disenchant is probably worth it if they're playing Metalworker. Faith's Fetters does not shut down mana abilities. I think I like Dismember more than Condemn in this matchup because it doesn't look like they're attacking our life total, and we've seen at least 1 creature that we do want to be able to kill, but that will not be attacking us. This only kills enchantments. We don't have any random red lands we can play. I definitely like Geist. I don't think we want Wrath of God. We could cut that and bring in either Seasoned Hallowblade, Adeline, or Shark Typhoon. One of these 3. Walking Bliss is also pretty medium. I like all of these other cards, though. So I think we just run it like this. Oh, Wall of Omens is not great, I guess. Which one of these 3 is the best? Probably Shark Typhoon because it lets us hold up mana and play at instant speed. Yeah, I think Shark Typhoon is good here. On the draw, we might bring in Seasoned Hallowblade just to stick it on turn 2 and really bring the beats. But on the draw, I think I like it doing it this way. Okay, great hand. We don't have double blue, but we do have double white, and we have single blue. Thraben Inspector is good on turn 1, and it's also good with Restoration Angel. Caracas is a good draw. We're just going to go Plains on turn 1. Because, if they know about the Caracas, it could influence their decisions. Hypothetically, they could go, Land, Mox, Show and Tell here and put, Emrakul into play. But they wouldn't do that if we had Caracas down. So we could bait them into making a play that's not effective because they don't know we have the Caracas. All right, there's a Mox. That's scary. Coalition Relic, also scary. I wish this Cathar Commando was a disenchant. Let's just go Flooded Strand, swing for 1. I want to get the Flooded Strand down because if we draw Counterspell or Mana Drain, this will let us have it available next turn. And we're probably just going to go, I guess we'll go end of turn Cathar Commando. But this is a big turn. They have 6 mana. On turn 3, we have Path to Exile and Cathar Commando, and Caracas. So between those 3 things, we can answer a lot of threats, but there are some things that would be very problematic. Okay, Duretti's not too bad. Hopefully they minus, but they probably plus. Yep. So we can kill that if we want to Path to Exile the Construct token, which I really don't want to do. Especially since they missed a land drop. Palace Jailer. Okay, I really don't like making this line, but I think it is actually worth it. Killing the Duretti will make it a lot easier to defend the Monarchy, and this is our best window to do it. It is bad, though, of course, to give them a land when they just missed a land drop. Wow, they're playing a lot of colors over there. So swing at Duretti with everything, And then I'm not going to blow up the Cathar Commando. We could kill the Coalition Relic, and maybe that's correct, but it's more mana efficient to crack the Clue, and I want to have creatures on the board to defend the Monarchy after we play Palace Jailer. There are things they could have that would make us regret this, for sure. But we have a decent force for attacking Planeswalkers. We can deal with any creature very effectively. And if they play, like Mindslaver or something, we have the Cathar Commando. I guess the worst case scenario would be Mind Twist. But that would have been bad even if we cracked the Cathar Commando. Lots of artifact mana over there. Jeez. If they have Upheaval, we're in really bad shape. Let's crack the Clue. Elspeth, good draw. And Ballista. Okay, I think I'm just going to jam Palace Jailer. We can play Restoration Angel if they play a creature, so we still have a good answer to a creature. And this lets us get the Monarch and start drawing cards. We really, really want to find a Counterspell in this position because we're very ahead on board, and there's limited cards that get them out of this. So if we find one Counterspell to deal with a potential like Ugin, Upheaval, something like that, then we're in really good shape. But they have a ridiculous amount of mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at least. Well, that's 8 mana. What you got? Sundering Titan wouldn't be too bad. Inkwell Leviathan is actually not bad at all. We can kill that with Elspeth. Good draw. So let's just go Sheldock Isle pass. Mana Drain, pretty good one. Disenchant wouldn't be terrible either, but Mana Drain's better. Solitude's another good draw. So this is actually sort of slick. We can or we'll put a stop on their main phase. We can take back the Monarchy so they don't even get to draw a card. We can take back the Monarchy on our attack step either way. But if we flicker the Palace Jailer, even if we don't exile anything, we become the Monarch again. So we can prevent them from drawing a card. I think that's better than doing Thraben Inspector. Okay, interesting. What are they taking here? Palace Jailer? Cathar Commando. Would we rather have Cathar Commando in play or prevent them from becoming the Monarch? We could also just crack the Cathar Commando, but then we can't play Resto, and I do want to play the Resto. The thing is, they're only going to do this if they have a really good artifact or enchantment to play here. And we didn't put Disenchant under the Mana Drain. This is very close. I guess I will play Resto here. They get to draw a card, but I think that's fine. Given that play, though, I wish I had just played an Island, because then we could have just cracked the Cathar Commando to kill Coalition Relic and still held up Resto and used our mana efficiently. What? Okay, that's a strange play. We're ahead on board. We win the race. Do we want to... Wait, can we even trade with this? 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we can't. All right, we'll take 7. But we are swinging back for more than 7. And we have Solitude. They have mana still, but they only have 1 card. Now, I don't think it's worth cracking this Cathar Commando. I just want to have a bunch of dudes on the board. There are some things that we die... Oh, no, actually we don't... I was thinking we died a Time Walk, but we actually don't because we can Solitude our own Cathar Commando and go to 15 and survive at 1. And any blocker we can swing through also. We have 9 points of power, so if we play Solitude to gain them 4 life or less, we could win. But if we need to Solitude a Baneslayer Angel or something, they do get to win. Actually, yeah, that'd be bad. Oh, wait, no. Well, we'd also have Walking Ballista, so we can actually deal 9 damage. I mean 10 damage. Linalendra. Okay, that should just be game. There's no reason to do Solitude end of turn. Yeah, let's just untap. Okay, we'll swing with just our no, well, now we will Solitude. So let's go Plains, Solitude, exiling Elspeth. Much better than a Path to Exile or even Swords to Plowshares here because they cannot counter it with Glen. So if we swing with everything, they block this and take 6 and go to 1 and then die to the Walking Ballista. Okay, I guess we just go for that then. Or I'll play this first in case they have days. All right, took down 4-color control. Good start. They had so much artifact mana, but they didn't really draw enough top end there. Got a little bit unlucky. But we are 1-0. I'll see you in round 2 as we embark on our quest for our 21st trophy. See you there. All right, we have our opponent for round 2. Can we win the die roll? Yes. We rolled a 6. All right, we'll keep this hand. It's a bit heavy on lands, but we have all our colors. We have a turn 2 cantrip. Probably should have played Island there. Definitely should have played Island, actually. I don't think it matters. Almost definitely. Okay, yeah. Against this, no matter what, we're playing the Wall of Omens. I will fetch to thin out a deck. We don't have anything that cares about shuffle effects. So I'll just get this going. We do not want to draw a land off this Wall of Omens. Okay, good draw. Actually, probably very good draw in this matchup. Wall of Omens is really good against Student of Warfare. If they level up, they still can't attack. Phyrexian Revoker. Okay. Our plan is to... I'm not going to Banishing Light that. We're just going to play Walking Ballista for 4 mana on turn 4 and shoot the Revoker probably. If they have... Okay, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Reasonable name here, but we don't have it in our deck, so we don't care. Let's just go Island Pass. Path was a reasonable draw there, but I would have preferred something I could play this turn. Like Elite Spellbinder probably would have been our best draw there, or something like that. Or Grim Monolith, honestly, to make a huge Ballista. Okay, this is sort of funny. We could Path to exile one of their things for free here. They wouldn't get the land, but I still don't even think that's worth it. None of their creatures line up well against our hand and board. So we take 1. Block here and untap. Skyclave Apparition, good draw, but we're not playing that this turn. Let's get this down and pass. A lot of mana over there. It's unclear how aggressive they are. If they are playing a really low... Ooh, okay. That's a problematic card. We're going to need to Skyclave Apparition that. If they go through, try to equip to all 3 of these, I'll just shoot the first 2 and they'll get it on the last one, but then they have no board. This card is really, really good in this matchup, though. Okay, let's just shoot Loyal Warhound and block the Phyrexian Revoker. Oh, Restoration Angel. Okay. Wait, what? So they're trying to shut down our Walking Ballista. That's fine, though. We'll just let this happen. So they name Walking Ballista, but we still kill their Loyal Warhound. Then their Loyal Warhound dies. We want to... I'm not sure what the best play is here. Caracas does not help us. We could Path Phyrexian Revoker. No, I think I'm just going to... We'll take a hit from the Restoration Angel and just go land, Skyclave the Skull Clamp. And we'll pass turn. So this Banishing Light, we can Path Exile the Restoration Angel and Banishing Light that. Okay, perfect. So that resolves. Make a dude. Let's just Path this Resto now. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh. Well, Skull Clamp is gone. We'll see what their other equipment is. But pretty much any equipment here they could get would be good because they have so much mana. Batterskull, yep, that's pretty good. I still think we want to kill the Gideon, though. So we'll Path the Resto. Okay. We'll just go land. Well, we'll start with Thraben Inspector, crack the clue, I guess. In case we draw something that I'm not thinking of that would change our play. Elite Spellbinder doesn't help here. I mean, it's not... oh, whoops. It's not terrible, but it's not what we want. So let's take out Gideon and pass turn. And the board is pretty well stalled, but they have this Batterskull, so they're going to be able to pull ahead with that. We need to top deck well. I mean, this is sort of a top deck war. We certainly have better top decks in our deck. But they, like, yeah, if both of us just draw all lands for the rest of the game, they certainly win. If they want to level that up to be a 4/4 with double strike, that would require pumping 5 mana into it, and they couldn't also use Stoneforge to put Batterskull into play. I think that'd be fine with me. Oh, Elite Spellbinder is actually sort of sweet, because it would mean that, like, this only puts equipment from their hand into the battlefield. So, yeah, this would be really good if they don't put the Batterskull into play this turn. I think if they swing for 8, I probably will chump block with a Thraben Inspector. Okay, let's just go Wall of Omens here, chump here. Good draw. We're going to hold off on that for a bit, though, I think. Yeah, let's just go Elite Spellbinder. Take out this Batterskull. They can still hardcast it for 7, but that's a lot worse. I will play land. They don't seem like they're an Armageddon deck. They're not holding any lands, so I'll just get this down. And I guess we just swing for 2, because there's no reason not to. Actually, there is a reason not to. We want this Skyclave Apparition to die. So that after we play Wrath of God, we can kill the 1/1 immediately. It doesn't really matter. I don't think that... Well, the 1/1 could make a difference if they equip Batterskull to it. That's 1 more mana than they need. Yep, there we go. Cast the Batterskull. Sure. We need to draw a Planeswalker. 'Cause, 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 So are we using the Wrath of God this turn, or do we want to try to wait one more turn? We'll see what we draw. This turn, I think I'm just going to go... Actually, no, sorry. Wait. We're going to block like this. Because I would love to be able to save this Walking Ballistas in some way. Like, if we could find... Well, no, actually, Walking Ballista is not... Like, we have a lot of mana, but it's still not that good here. Okay, they played just another dude. Probably we are just going to want a Wrath here, but we'll see what we draw. Really bad draw, of course. So, let's just... Wrath. We'll start by swinging. Oh, no, we don't want to swing with this because they can block with Batterskull, but we'll hit them for 3. Pass turn, but we need to draw some non-lands for sure. This Batterskull, like if they had only Mutavault, I wouldn't be too worried. We have plenty of time, but Batterskull, they can just return and replay. So hopefully we can find an answer to the Batterskull here. Elspeth Sun's Champion would be amazing. Elspeth Knight Errant would be fine. Elspeth Conquers Death would be amazing. That would probably be our best draw, actually. Factor Fiction would be great. Palace Jailer's great. Yeah, that's really good. They can animate Mutavault and equip, and then we'd have to chump blocks. But if we're the Monarch, we should be able to find some answers. Of course, I say that, and then immediately top deck an island. Let's see, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands down. So that's pretty good. We've gone through well over half of our lands. 7 left out of 21, so it's like we're playing a 13-land deck now in terms of the ratio of lands to spells that we should be drawing. Just about a third. They probably should animate and attack or equip the Mutavault. They could also return the Batterskull and replay it, but then we get to be the Monarch guaranteed this turn. And we still have a blocker in play. Restoration Angel would be a very good draw too. Outside of the 3 Elspeth cards, that would probably be our best draw. I guess Mirror Battlesphere would be really good too. Yeah, we have a lot of really strong draws. Okay, they're animating the Mutavault, equipping the Batterskull, and swinging. Oh, whoa. Okay, that's a questionable play. I guess they probably just drew lands, or their plan is just to replay Batterskull here. Kythian, and then equip Batterskull to Kythian, or just pass. All right, questionable moves here by the opponent. I think they could have won this game if they played optimally, but we're in really good shape now. Restoration Angel, solid draw. Do we just jam Resto here? Geist of St. Traft. That was a really good draw. With Karakas in play, that's just like an unkillable blocker. Yeah, we're going to hold the Resto here. I think. No, we can play the Resto. Because of the Karakas, we can play the Resto here. And this is somewhat of a clock. They're not going to be gaining any life because of the Geist. Okay, not a good draw, of course. We have no incentive to hold land. I guess I will just play around a really random Armageddon. Okay, that should solidify it. I think having drawn the counterspell, we should be good to go. The Monarchy is really being clutch here. Tithe Taker, okay. No need to counter that. So we block and then return the thing to our hand. It does cost 1 extra mana, but that doesn't matter. All right. Cathar Commando, good draw. We'll go land, Geist. Do we want to swing for 3 again? Or just leave it back to defend against Tithe Taker? I think I'm just going to leave it back here. Man, where's all our top end? We still haven't drawn a single card that costs more than 4. And we have a lot in our deck. They swing. We are just going to do the same Geist thing. We're very happy to play draw go as long as we're drawing 2 cards a turn and they're drawing 1. Okay, so they do have a spell here, but we have a counter spell if it's something we care about. Kythian is not something we care about. Alright, I am just going to jam this here. It does mean that they know about it so they can play around us killing the Batterskull, but I think it's fine. I'd like just getting a body down here. Okay, another land, but at least this land has some value. Alright, instant speed, Elspeth Conquers Death. Plus, we actually get to put some pretty bad cards at the bottom, too. That's good. Play Geist, pass turn. I'm still going to pass this one turn. Another thing we can do is, we could just kill the... Oh, Solitude. Okay, that should solidify it. They attack with everything. Okay, let's cast the Solitude. Exile Kythian. And then, I might just take a hit from here, actually. I don't love it. Or, how does this look? So, alright, what are the pros and cons of blocking like that? We can kill their Batterskull this way. We're losing our Geist, which is pretty good here. But we do have Elspeth Conquers Death to bring it back. I guess given that we have Elspeth Conquers Death, maybe we do just block like this. But then if they have like a Planeswalker here, we're in sort of bad shape. So yeah, I think I will just block like this. So these all trade. If they want to replay the Germ, we can kill it with a Cathar Commando. They get a 1/1 flyer, but that doesn't matter too much. It's possible we were just supposed to Solitude the Tidetaker and then yeah, we probably were supposed to Solitude Tidetaker and Karakas to bounce the Kythian. But I still think we're in a really good spot. Let's swing for 3. I'm fine trading this for the Spirit if they want to block. Keep in mind, like, we're low on cards in the library, but we have like win conditions that win the game very, very quickly. It's bizarre that we still haven't drawn them, but we should draw them soon. I mean, we have to. Okay, there we go. So we'll go land, Monolith, Mer Battlesphere. Oh, I should have tapped the Karakas here. We can't do Elspeth Conquers Death and Counterspell, but that almost definitely doesn't matter. They didn't bounce their Batterskull end of turn. I mean, yeah, it looks like our opponent has sort of given up here. This should be a pretty good matchup for our deck. We have a lot of small creatures, so it's going to be hard for them to go under us, but then we just go over the top of them. Okay, they return the Batterskull. We'll counter it on the way back down. All right, there we go. So playing against mono white, pretty traditional mono white, low mana curve. We didn't see anything too unusual. Looks like they're probably not playing Armageddon. They do have Skull Clamp, which is really good in general and really good against us. So that's the main thing we need to deal with. Disenchant is an answer for that. What are other cards we want here? Well, what are cards we don't want? Geist was decent there, but we don't want it in general. I think we do want Fate's Fetters and Dismember. Dismember paying life isn't great, but the mana efficiency makes it worth it. We need to cut one more card. Palace Jailer was good there, but I think I actually will cut the Palace Jailer. It's good in like a top decking situation, but if they're curving out, it's very bad, and we want to build our deck to be able to beat them curving out, because I think we can already probably win in a top decking situation most of the time. Do we want to make any other changes? Honestly, Counterspell and Mana Drain are pretty medium here. We could bring in Adeline. I think I'm just going to run it like this, though. Okay, good hand. Turn 1 Thraben Inspector, turn 2 Mana Drain. We don't have double white for Elspeth Conquers Death yet, but we have primarily white lands in the deck, so I think we should be able to draw into that pretty soon. Skull Clamp on 1. All right, that's scary, and we don't have an answer to it yet, but hopefully we can draw one. We'll grab our Tundra and drop this Thraben Inspector into play. Pass turn. Okay, good draw. Do we want to play Wall of Omens or hold up Mana Drain? I think I actually am going to play Wall of Omens this turn. Yeah, I'm going to do that this turn because their scariest cards cost 3 and more. I guess if they played Stoneforge Mystic, I would sort of want to counter it, but what I really want to counter is their, we'll just pass. What we really want to counter is Gideon and Batterskull, stuff like that. If they play specifically Spectral Procession, that would be really bad. I will wish that we'd held up Mana Drain because Spectral Procession is very good against our deck and our hand, especially Elite Spellbinder. Okay, they just equip that. I mean, that's good for them, I guess. They get a 2-for-1, but they're not pressuring us at all. Phyrexian Revoker to shut down Walking Ballista, I bet. Okay, Cathar Commando was a good draw. I think we're just going to go land pass. And our plan is to... I guess I'll even swing for 1 here. Our plan is to go Cathar Command. They're going to go probably equip Clamp to the Phyrexian Revoker. And then in response, we'll go Cathar Commando, kill the Skull Clamp. If they instead just play Gideon or something, then we can Mana Drain. That's pretty good for us. We don't... Actually, maybe I would just even let that resolve and play Elspeth Conquers Death. We'll see. But either way, I think the first 3 turns are key. The way they win this game is by getting us under pressure so that we have to be playing defensively there. And they have not done that at all. So we're going to be playing like a mid-range battle rather than a aggro versus control battle. And if we're both trying to play a mid-range battle, that favors us. Their one out is Skull Clamp, but since we have the answer here in hand, it's going to be really hard for them to outcard advantage us, especially with a good hand like this. I guess if we get weirdly mana screwed, that could be bad. But even if that happens, we're probably drawing other cheap spells. Okay, so we'll go Cathar Commando. They can Mana Tide this if they want, which would mean this goes through, but they do not. So we'll blow up your Skull Clamp. And now they're only going to have 3 mana tops this turn, so they can't play Gideon or anything like that. If they just pass and do nothing, then the game is over. Okay. We could hold up Resto or go Chart a Course plus Mana Drain. I think it's worth it to get the Resto down soon. So we'll just swing for 1 and pass. And the Resto just gives us a clock. We don't really need a clock, but if we can establish a clock while also getting value, that's worth it. That's good. Do we want to get an island or plains with this flooded strand? Probably island. We don't have that many blue cards in the deck. Getting blacklight. Is that something we want to counter? That's pretty close. I don't think so. We can Elspeth Conquer's Death it. Or just attack it. Actually, I will counter this. Yeah, I'll counter this. And now that we're using the mana drain here, I'm just going to grab a plains since very unlikely we'll need that much blue mana. So mana drain this, then we'll crack the clue crack the clue and sort of start just going off. So we get 3 mana here. We can play Resto for 1 mana essentially. Lots of mana. Just go Resto, flicker the wall. Great draw. Swing for 1. And we can either play Charter Course or Elite Spellbinder. I think it's better to play the Spellbinder here. And then we actually just have like a good clock. 6 pet damage in the air. We have multiple ways to remove threats. We can clear out anything that's problematic. Okay, their hand is pretty stacked. What do we care about here? Skyclave Apparition can deal with everything except Batterskull. But Batterskull we can kill with Elspeth Conquer's Death, so we don't care about that. I think I might take Restoration Angel here. Yeah, Resto is just the hardest for us to play around. Everything else is Sorcery Speed, and if they're playing Sorcery Speed, then we can navigate pretty easily with this hand. Elspeth we can just kill with Flyers, so they can't play that. They probably just go Skyclave Apparition to exile Resto, and then we'll go Skyclave Apparition, their Skyclave Apparition, and be fine. Get a 4/4. If they play Blade Splicer, I think we just ignore it. Wall of Omens can block the Golem. Thraben Inspector can block the 1/1. They're just playing Batterskull, so we can take that out with Elspeth Conquer's Death. Yeah, this is looking very tough for our opponent. No attacks. Good draw. And I'll send everything, including the Thraben Inspector. They take 7. Wall of Omens is an absolute house in this matchup. It came down cheap, drew a card, brickwalled all of their ground attackers, then gave us more value with Resto later, and it's still brickwalling the Phyrexian Revoker. So they play land. They could play Resto here. They could also go Blade Splicer plus Skyclave, but that's still just not enough. This takes out Resto. I guess they could take out the Elite Spellbinder. Oh, interesting. That's sort of weird. I don't really agree with that play. Especially since Resto can block the Golem, but I don't think they were going to win either way. So we'll untap, make their spells cost more. Then swing for 3 in the air. Then we'll Charter Course, hopefully hit a land. Nice. And even a white land, or a Path land was among the best cards we could hit there. Now I'll go Skyclave Apparition to exile your Skyclave Apparition. And pass turn. So the ground is very well clogged. This Resto can just win in the air. They do have Resto available for them, but we don't really care about that. We can just exile it with Solitude or Path. And then this turn we'll bring back Cathar Commando, which can kill either Revoker or Golem. This looks like Resto. Yep. Flickering Blade Splicer. I don't even care about the Golems at all. The ground is pretty well blocked, so I'm just going to ignore the ground and just only aim. Like, we could have passed the Blade Splicer in response if we wanted to, but I don't think that's worth it. Take out your Resto for 1 mana. We can't play that this turn, but it's a good draw. So this guy comes back. We will swing for 3. And then we'll just pass holding up Solitude and Fact or Fiction. Their only card is Elspeth, which doesn't really do much. All right, there we go. Pretty smooth start. We are undefeated in games and matches. I'll see you in round 3. Right? All right, we have our opponent for the finals. Hopefully we can win the die roll. Ooh, 6-1, guaranteed win. We're on the play, and the hand's great. Keep it. I think I will just play Island to start. Well, playing Scalding Tarn slightly plays around Strip Mine. If they want to Strip Mine this Island, though, that's fine. I want to draw lands. I don't really want to fetch lands out of the deck right now. They play Botanical Sanctum and pass. Okay, now I will fetch. I wanted to hit my 4th land drop. Now we have it. This also makes it look like we're way heavier blue than we are, so they might play around Counter Magic more than is appropriate. I really wish this didn't have Defender here. If we could swing for 0, we could play Chart a Course for value. We'll see what we draw. If we draw nothing, then I'll probably just play 1/1 Ballista. We'll see. It also depends on what they do. I mean, they could just go Raphellos here, and we would definitely play Ballista. Ugh. Don't like seeing a Mox and a Sylvan Library. Yuck. Okay. Just land go. Well, do we want to play? No, I don't think we want to play Ballista. Although, actually I will. It's not a great play, but it does mean if we want to, we could play, like if they play a Planeswalker here, we can go Elspeth, give the Ballista flying, and swing for 4. It is really, like, Ballista attacking their life total is not very effective, but it protects Planeswalkers and attacks Planeswalkers well, and that could be important here. Opponent pays 8 life, all right. That makes the Elspeth attack look more appealing. They don't have that much mana. I mean, they have Mox, so they're ahead of us on mana, but like, I'm not afraid of them playing Primeval Titan or anything like that this turn. Island go. All right. Very strange. Very good draw. Let's go Island, swing. And we could either hold up Fact or Fiction or play Chart a Course. There's like no way we don't use Counterspell this turn, though. So I think I am just going to fire off the chart. If they counter this, I think I just let it resolve. Cryptic Command. Okay, that I will counter. I don't want them to draw a card. So now we get to draw our 2. Skyclave Apparition is a decent draw. I think we're going for the Mox, but it depends slightly on what they do. We'll see if they pay even more life. The fact that we have 4 blue sources in play makes it look like we're playing more than 5 blue cards. We've also played 2 blue cards so far, but the only blue cards we have left in our deck are Geist of St. Traft, which is basically a white card, this 1 Fact or Fiction, and then Mana Drain. But they're probably going to think we have mostly Fact or Fictions and Mana Drains in our deck. They elect not to pay life there and play what, Garrick? Green Sun Zenith for 3. All right, if they get Rex Age, it trades with Walking Ballista. That's totally fine. If they get... Yeah, honestly, there's not really anything here that they could get that would be too bad that I can think of. They could get Uro, but they're a long way away from escaping that. They could get Grist, but we could just kill that. Yeah, I don't really know what they could have here that would be problematic. Eternal Witness to get back... Oh, Courser. Okay, sure. We can just take that out. Oh, Gaia's Cradle. Weird. Okay. Never play Gaia's Cradle and Cryptic Command in the same deck. There may be some weird corner cases where your mana is perfect and that's good, but I've never seen a situation where I think that's advisable, and I don't think this is one either. We will take out their Courser, which also takes them off of a mana, and then hit them for 1. I also like getting rid of a source of life gain when they have the Sylvan Library in play. They're drawing Hex Drinker, which they can... Yeah, actually, Hex Drinker is just bad here. If they sink a bunch of mana into it, we can just kill it with the Walking Ballista. They do pay life. Wow. Aggressive. They're dead on... Or no, yeah, they are dead on board, actually. I mean, of course, they're going to do something that changes that, but it seems fine. 5 mana. What is this? Ren and 7. Okay. That makes a dude with reach, so they can't... So that, yeah, they can block our Elspeth Knight Errant guy. That is a 5/5. All right, let's untap. Cathar Commando, not very good here. I really wish I had a way to kill that reach token. All right, let's go through some possible lines. Play Elspeth Knight Errant, give Skyclave Apparition plus 3/3 and flying, swing, and then they probably chump block with, or trade with a Tree Folk token. That seems okay. We could also then still have 2 mana available for Cathar Commando at the end of their turn. Alternatively, we could level up Ballista and kill the Ren and 7. But then that seems like the worst play. We can't attack then. We could just play... I mean, Wrath of God is not correct here. Yeah, it's really... Yeah, I think we should just give the Skyclave flying. They are going to get to trade here, but a 3/3 is not effective against our board, and then we'll still have Elspeth in play. And Ren and 7 is not that good here. I guess if they have Uro in their deck, it could mill them into Uro, which would be a little bit bad. But I think getting the Elspeth down is the right play here. So we'll give this plus 3/3 and flying and swing at them. They're going to block either way. But, yeah, I'm presuming they're going to go with them. This is also the smallest the Tree Folk will be. Next turn it's probably going to grow. Yeah, they trade. And we will pass. We could kill the Hex Drinker now, which would take them off of 1 mana. But I think I would rather keep the Hex Drinker or the Walking Ballista around in case we're able to level it up. The flash on Cathar Commando is very relevant here. They might take a line that doesn't match up well against that. Okay, they get 2 lands, Factor Fiction, and Elf into the graveyard. If they do have Uro, their deck looks really sweet for Uro. They have Factor Fiction and Ren and 7 to fill the graveyard. They play Forest, play Arbor Elf, all right. They have Island and a couple unknowns. If they just sink 3 mana into the Hex Drinker, we will probably need to kill it. Well, maybe not, actually. No, we probably should. Reclamation Sage. Okay. So that targets the Ballista. We'll kill the Hex Drinker. Actually, I should have done it with this on the stack, because we have no other artifacts and enchantments, and it just takes them off of 1 mana. Because they had a window where they could have tapped Gaia's Cradle for 4 there. Very unlikely to matter, but it could. 5 mana. What is this? I was really hoping they didn't have another play. If they do have another play, we could be in trouble. Hydroid Krasis. Okay. That is annoying because it can block our Cathar Commando. We're still playing at end of turn, though. Well, are we? Yeah, we are. Are we? Are we playing Wrath of God this turn? Yeah, I kind of like the... Well, okay, so if we play Cathar Commando now, we can give it +3/3 in flying, swing at the Ren and 7 for 6. They chump block with a Hydroid Krasis. And then our plan is to just play Wrath of God the turn after. Alternatively, we could play Wrath of God this turn, really hurt their mana, and then play end of turn Cathar Commando. I think that's better, actually. Yeah, I'm going to hold a Cathar Commando. Shelldock Isle was one of the best draws. So let's go Wrath of God. This takes them off of 5 mana. Then we'll go make a dude. Shelldock Isle. Sweet. Actually, there's a chance we were supposed to take Elite Spellbinder there. I think it's still better to do Cathar Commando, but when their life total is pretty low, instant speed creatures that we can play at the end of their turn and then give +3/3 in flying with Elspeth are pretty strong. I still think Elspeth is the right pickup here, but that is a closer call than I gave it credit for when I first saw the cards. Augur of Autumn, okay. Library of Alexandria off the top. That's a scary card. In fact, we basically just lose to this card on the spot if they have it in their opener. But luckily, they did not have it in their opener. They kill off the Ren and 7 and make another dude. That's a little bit unfortunate. We'll play... Oh, no, it's actually not unfortunate because we can kill it with Elspeth. Sweet. Oh. For a sec, I just assumed this would work, and then I was like, wait, we have 21, but they have 18, so it's fine. So we'll minus to kill their guy. Give our Cathar Commando +3/3 in flying. And hit them down to 2. And now, do we want to main phase this Factor Fiction? The only way it matters... Like, we could find a 2-drop we want to play. But I think I still like holding it up to use it at instant speed. We have Mana Drain, which we could find, and the value of Mana Drain goes up a lot if we can get it at instant speed. Yeah, we'll do this. If they were playing a color that had more removal, I wouldn't do this, because if they can kill our soldier token, then they can kill our Elspeth. No, actually, there's another line we probably... Actually, yeah, it probably would have been better to give +3/3 in flying to the soldier and swing with the Cathar Commando too. Also, they're about to get a bunch of value off of the... Like, Augur plus Sylvan Library is a really good combo. They also have Sylvan Library plus Courser. But, all right, they don't get us there, so we win. Should be a pretty tough matchup, though, I would think. They have a lot of value. They can get off to a mana advantage, and they have Library of Alexandria, which single-handedly wins. So, yeah, I think this is a bad matchup, but it's nice that we're able to steal game 1, even if we're only 40% for games 2 and 3. Hopefully we can get there. Now, what changes do we want to make, if any? I think we do want Dismember. I don't think we want Geist. That game we sort of played as an aggressive deck because they played Sylvan Library and paid 12 life, but I think we actually are trying to out-control them in general. Elite Spellbinder seems okay. Faith's Fetters actually shuts down Library. Emrakul is maybe worth it. Let's see. Are there any cards here we don't want? The only card we might want to cut, or the only cards, are Condemn and Elite Spellbinder. I think I will cut Elite Spellbinder for Faith's Fetters as an answer to Uro, Ren and 7, any other Planeswalkers. Yeah, and then Disenchant kills Mox and Library, but we already have Cathar Commando. I think I'm just going to run it like this. If we see more of their deck, we could potentially end up cutting the Condemn. Although I do want to have good answers to Ren and 7 tokens, because they are pretty big. Okay, this hand is a keep. It's not good. Is it even a keep? Yeah, it's a keep. We have a sort of nice combo. We can go Evoke Solitude, and then with the Evoke trigger on the stack, play Resto. So take out 2 creatures when we have 4 mana. Fact or Fiction is a good card, but it's another 4-drop in our mono 4-drop hand. Okay, we'll see if they go all in on this Hex Drinker. We do have an answer with the Solitude, but we're not... If they just use all their mana, they can... Not next turn, but the turn after, they can get it big enough that we need to use the Solitude, so we won't be able to race with... Or get the Resto Solitude combo. Wall of Omens, okay. We want to draw Skyclave Apparition. I'm just going to play Island, though. Island Wall. Okay, here's the question. We're going to be solituding this Hex Drinker no matter what. The only question is, do we want to... We could take 4, or we could chump block, or we could solitude it now. If we just take 4, then we could make them sink more mana into it next turn, and I think that is pretty valuable, especially because it looks like they don't have another land. So I'm just going to take 4 this turn. My Kingdom for Mox, man. If we could just go Mox here, we would instantly win. Do we want to chart a course for, like, minimum value? All of the cards in my hand are actually cards I want. So I think I'm just going to go Plains Pass. Or Caracas Pass. Or Flooded Strand Pass. Yeah, Flooded Strand Pass. So if they do just spend all of their mana to pump this up, we'll just Solitude it. Pitching. Not Resto. I think Resto is going to be really good here with the wall. We also want an attacker for the Charter Course. So it's between Faith's Fetters and Path. And I think I'm actually going to do the Path here. Because Path is not looking great if they're missing land drops. So in response to that, we'll go Solitude, Pitching, Path. They gain 4. Grab a Plains and untap. Mana Drain, good draw. Makes me wish I had gotten an island, but I think it's fine. They do with their land here, so they have Cryptic Command mana. I think we still just jam here. If they have the Cryptic, it's a little sad. Bummer. All right, that was the worst case scenario by a lot. We don't even have a play now because I don't really want to just jam Fact or Fiction main phase. I think we want to hold up Mana Drain. This looks like a Ren in 7. Be gone, Ren. No Force of Will is really good for us. Now we get a bunch of mana. Cathar Commando is a decent draw, but we're definitely going to go just Fact or Fiction. Fact or Fiction Mana Drain is really good. I mentioned it when we drafted it, and you can see it here. Now if they give us... They can't give us Island Elspeth because we could just play it this turn. That was a really good hit. All of those cards are good. Well, we have 3 really good cards there, and then 2 decent enablers. We also don't even have a land, so I actually would like to... Like, the Island would not be a dead draw here by any means. This would be a very bad split. You need to separate Island Elspeth here. Unless they could have an... Okay, yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe they have an answer, but we're going to make them have it. Okay, strange move. They should have just switched the Elspeth and the Mirror Battlesphere there, and then it would have been a very hard decision. Six mana, Primeval Titan. Okay, we can Faith's Fetters that. Although now they have a lot of mana, and they have a lot of spells also, so this could be a little dicey. I don't know exactly what they have, but it would be good to draw a counterspell. So let's go Faith's Fetters. Swing first, 3. Oh, maybe we were supposed to... No, we could have minus the Elspeth, but I think I like plussing the Elspeth here. This puts pressure on them. Oh, wait. Okay, I forgot. We're not going to be holding up counterspell this turn, but that's fine. We'll just play Chart Course, draw 2, plus, and pass. So this Condemn is not looking good. This could have been a Elite Spellbinder, a Disenchant, Dig Through Time, Gear Hulk. I mean, any of these cards would have been way better. Gear Hulk would have been the best. Another Elf, that's fine. They have a lot of mana. 4 cards in hand. But they have to answer this Elspeth in 2 turns. Our opponent's deep in thought over there. Which makes sense. This is a pretty important turn. It's a bit of a bummer that the Mirror Battlesphere is in the graveyard. A lot of our top end is gone now. We have Elspeth Conquers Death and Walking Ballista. But beyond that, it's going to be hard for us to close it out if they have an answer for the Elspeth. Time Walk. Oof. Well, that's one thing that could get them back into it for sure. We'll see what they have here. If they go Time Walk plus a Planeswalker, we could be in really bad shape. They still have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Why can't we have a Time Walk? I would even take a Time Warp in this deck. This sort of effect is very, very good in this sort of shell, where we have a couple Planeswalkers and also a lot of creatures, so that having 2 attack steps actually matters. I think an interesting way to think about how good Time Walk is like, out of all the steps you're using, what matters? If you're only using the draw step, because you can't, use your mana otherwise, that's pretty bad. It's just a cantrip. And similarly, if you're just using it as a cantrip plus putting a land, or the extra draw step plus putting a land into play, that's pretty underwhelming too. But if you're using it, if you're getting value out of the untap step, the playing a land, drawing a card, and the attack step, you're all 4 of the relevant things here. That's really what you want. And I guess technically upkeep also, if you have something that triggers on upkeep or something like that. Oh, what? Okay, this isn't killing us, but they can kill our Elspeth now. We have 6 points of toughness. Oh. Well, they have 1. Yeah, they should definitely be attacking Elspeth here. Yeah, good play, opponent. Oh, this is the worst possible. Yeah, send both at Elspeth. That's what you need to do. Yeah. Okay. Well, considering that they just played Time Walk, Craterhoof, Behemoth, things are going remarkably well. Considering that before they did anything, they had nothing going. Before that turn, they had nothing going on. We had an Elspeth that was about to ultimate. Things are going poorly. We do have this Wrath of God, though. A nice reset button. The fact that they use Treachery there is pretty hilarious. They have another 8 mana play? Jeez. What is this? Woodfall Primus, Green Suns, Emrakul. Oof. That's actually funnily bad, though. Well, we'll see what happens. This is going to be interesting. Wrath of God, there's no way they can get around the Wrath of God killing. I guess they could go bounce their own Emrakul with Karakas. Oh, they have Uro too. Okay, their deck is really good. This is going to be a tough matchup for Game 3. But they could go Karakas, bounce Emrakul, then play Wrath of God. and then just replay Emrakul the turn after. But if we Wrath, then they don't have that. They have way less mana. So they can go condemn one of our things. I mean, they can blow our hand. They probably should just fire off the Wrath, though. Because if they let us play the Wrath and kill their Craterhoof Behemoth and their Emrakul, they're going to have a hard time winning. Especially since we have this Karakas to deal with Uro. So I think that's what they should do. What they probably will do is just swing with all our dudes, condemn one of them, play Skyclave Apparition to exile like Birds of Paradise, play Shaldock Isle hitting a land. That's my guess. And again, what they should do, in my opinion, is play Shaldock Isle hitting a land still. But then, yeah, get rid of this Wrath of God for minimal damage to them. And once we sweep the board, they are down to 7 mana. They have 4 card types in their yard. It'll go up to 5 when Treachery goes to the graveyard. So it'll cost 8. So unless they top deck a land, they will not be able to replay Emrakul. But they could still just escape Uro. This is going to be tough. It's doable, but it's going to be tough. I guess they actually don't need to play Wrath this turn. They really need to bounce their Emrakul with Karakas. Okay, good play, opponent. I mean, I'm sad it happened, but that is a good play. I guess they could go Cathar Command, or yeah, Cathar Commando, sack it to kill the Faith's Fetters, and then play Condemn. Sure. Probably better to hit the Faith's Fetters, but it doesn't really matter here. Oh, wait, they can't hit Faith's Fetters. Yeah, they couldn't have done that. Now they play Sheldock, hit land. But I'm going to lose the Banishing Light. That was a good answer. And they can stack it so the Banishing Light is our bottom card, too. Oh. They did not stack those in the order they wanted to, which actually could be relevant here because we only have 14 cards in library. Now they just swing with 2 tokens and block them both. Excuse me. So I think we're going to not play the Wrath of God here. We have enough, like the Craterhoof Behemoth doesn't really do anything. It gives them a lot more mana to not play the Wrath of God, but I really would like to hit the Wrath. Oh, okay, that was a really good draw. I think we still just pass, or play land and then pass. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, playing Wrath doesn't do anything here. We can just chump block or trade all of our creatures with the Craterhoof. If they replay Emrakul, I think I probably will counterspell it. Yeah, I'll counterspell it, and that's fine. They play Library. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think I just want to get this gone. They can't, or attacking with Craterhoof would be really bad here. They can escape Uro. They should not attack with Craterhoof. Okay, yeah. Because if they did, we could just block with the Cathar Commando, which would prevent it from killing the Faith's Fetters. Do we want to do anything in a turn to minimize the damage that they can do? All we could really do is play Cathar Commando, which probably helps them. So yeah, we'll just let them take our turn. Oh, come on. Dang it. That sucks. Now they get to use that. They can play Elspeth Conquers Death, and then play Cathar Commando and kill the Elspeth Conquers Death. It's not like, I mean, that's not terrible for us. But the problem is that we're just running light on ways to win the game. We're basically down to just because Elspeth Knight Errant is on the bottom, so we're down to just Walking Ballista at this point. So they play Cathar Commando, sack it to kill the Faith's Fetters. Send in the Skyclave Apparition. I guess, yeah, they sack it to kill the Faith's Fetters, and then send in Skyclave Apparition and a Soldier token. Kill them both. Oh, okay, they don't sack. Oh, condemn the 1/1, sure. They should have definitely attacked with another 1/1 then. Okay, that worked out really, really well. I don't think our opponent navigated that optimally. Do we start attacking now? We can play Elspeth Conquers. Oh, yeah, definitely at least crack the Cathar Commando to kill the Faith's Fetters opponent. You're definitely going to want to do that. Okay, questionable move. Let's go land. Elspeth Conquers Death. Take out the Craterhoof Behemoth. And then we can swing for 6, which is a pretty fast clock. 7, actually. In our opponent's defense, it's really hard to navigate those sorts of turns. When you control an opponent's turn, especially when they have a lot of different things they could do, it's really hard to do it well, and they're also probably stressed about time. But, however, I don't know exactly what was optimal, but what they did was not optimal. And certainly they should have at least killed the Faith's Fetters. That was pretty clear. This is not restricted to artifacts and enchantments that the opponent controls, so there's nothing preventing them from killing the Faith's Fetters. Escape Uro. We can bounce it with Karakas, which we will do end of turn. And then in 2 turns, we'll have an interesting decision between bringing back Elspeth Sun's Champion or Mirror Battlesphere. I'm leaning towards Elspeth, but we'll see what they do. Oh, well, that's really bad. Kill Elspeth Conquers Death, and now we're back down to having basically just Walking Ballista as a win condition. In a turn, we will bounce Uro with Karakas. And it's gaining them a lot of life and drawing them a lot of cards, but it's at least not remaining in play. Okay, I think I'm actually just going to dismember Reclamation Sage here because it could trade with Skyclave Apparition or Cathar Commando, which would slow down our clock a lot. We have 7 card types now. Wow. Instant, sorcery, artifact, creature, land, enchantment, planeswalker. Not bad. I wish I had a Tarmogoyf. They only have 1 card in hand. They do have a lot of mana. Man, I think this was the game that started... Oh, come on, computer. Okay. This was the game that started with the whole Hex Drinker Solitude thing. That feels like so long ago now. This has been quite a game. Arbor Elf, okay. That can trade with a Cathar Commando, but we're still beaten down. All right, there we go. So shoot Arbor Elf, swing with everything. You really should win the game if you cast Emrakul Promised End twice. I'm actually going to shoot the Birds of Paradise too because, it could prevent 3 damage, and now it only prevents 1 damage. So they're dead next turn. They have to top deck this turn. They only have 1 draw step, and I don't even know what they could have. I guess Upheaval. They have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they could go land Upheaval, Primeval Titan. And that would win before we could get... Or no, we could get Wall to Chumplock. No, that would win before we could get up to Wrath of God. But outside of Upheaval, I don't think there's anything they could have here. Augur of Autumn. All right. Actually, there are... Yeah, I guess just playing creatures is something they could have here. Pelucranos would do it. We'll untap. Getting to untap with Walking Ballista is excellent. Put a counter on. Put a counter on. And then I think we just shoot the auger for 3 times so it can't block. Is that lethal? Shoot the auger 3 times, swing for 4, 7. Oh, yeah, it was lethal, but then the opponent, I don't know if they did the math or just got too disheartened, but either way, we got a trophy, and we didn't lose a game, I think. Yeah, even if our opponent won that game, they would have had a really hard time winning game 3 in 5 minutes or whatever they had, but it didn't matter because we were able to defeat them. All right, my computer's going to be bad for a little bit. Let's pause. All right, this was our blue-white control deck, I guess. I mean, you would think it was control because we're playing like Mana Drain, Counterspell, Factor Fiction, but we had 11 creatures. We were playing Draft in the main. We were really heavy white. This was sort of like a white mid-range deck, splashing blue for a little bit of card draw and 2 counterspells. And it was really good. We didn't drop a game. We had a lot of the benefit. Like, we were able to outgrind decks pretty well because we had really good answers to stuff. I mean, Solitude takes out any creature. Elspeth takes out any permanent that's relevant. Wrath of God takes out all creatures. Palace Jailer takes out any creature. Vanishing Light takes out any permanent. Skyclave Person takes out a lot of permanents. So we have more Artifact Enchantment, creature. Like, we had tons of ways to remove permanents. We had surprisingly good card advantage. Wall of Omens and Thraben Inspector both draw cards, and Restoration Angel was often able to draw us more cards. Palace Jailer draws cards too, and then of course Chart of Course and Factor Fiction are just card draw spells. And then because we had so many creatures, we were able to keep up with the aggressive decks really well, especially against that mono white deck. We had creatures that could block. We still had the Wrath of God to deal with creatures. And then finally, we had really good win conditions. So our opponents had a hard time just running us out of threats. And a decent mana base too. Caracas probably won us that one game against mono white. And Shelldock Isle was pretty strong as well. This deck was just really good. I think blue-white control, or just like blue-white as a color combination, is honestly the most overpowered deck by a lot. This is my 4th trophy with blue-white, and I've been not forcing it at all. I mean, maybe some people would say I forced it, but this draft we really weren't. We took Mana Drain, we took a Reanimate early on, then we took Glorybringer, and then we took Stomping Ground, and then only after all that, when we see a very, very late Deserted Beach, do we go into blue-white. So I think it's just a broken archetype. White's always open, blue is really good, and even if it's cut, you can still get a couple good blue cards early on. So as long as the mana comes together, you're almost always going to have a good deck. And it happened here. Pretty sweet result too, 6-0. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.